Hello, and on today's show, it's a blocky fat man.
Kojima is making moves.
What's up with that Star Trek trailer?
And in the latest news...
Star Wars!
What?
Jojo, Star Wars.
Star Wars. Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
This is episode 10 of the Geek 30 Happy Hour.
Star Wars.
Welcome back to another episode of the Geek 30 Happy Hour, where we drink a toast to all the geeky things we're passionate about. Today is December 19th, 2015. My name is Alex, and of course I'm joined by Jojo.
Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
I am freaking fantastic.
Still running off a kind of Star Wars high from the weekend.
And you know what? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
All right, just to give you guys some perspective on how today's show is going to be run, we're going to do the typical thing where we go through the beer that we're drinking, some of the news articles kind of coming out, but afterwards, we're going to be getting into a topic that I'm sure you guys are all kind of expecting, the new Star Wars movie. It's going to be filled with spoilers, filled with discussion on the new movie. So just be prepared for that. If you guys need to tune out, I will give you guys enough of a heads up. You'll have 10 seconds to turn off the podcast before we start unloading. So
and then you can pick it up whenever you watch the movie.
And I think that's speaking of Star Wars.
Speaking of Star Wars.
It's a great opportunity to introduce our guest.
Fantastic segue.
You know, I'm full of it. Yeah, I'm great. Geoff Blough.
Yeah, I think anybody who knows me and knows us is not going to be surprised that this is the episode that I decided to join you guys for.
It's wonderful.
This wasn't an accident. This was intentional.
I think Geoff. So Geoff Blough joins us today. Geoff is a fellow podcaster. We all used to work together. I think one of the first things that Geoff and I realized we had in common was our love of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys see the hat that Geoff is wearing today, it is a Star Wars hat.
Yes.
Can you describe what's on the front of your hat, Geoff?
Well, it's a logo split in half. So on the left half of it has the Rebel Alliance / Resistance, and on the right half it has the New Order logo. So
that's cool.
I got it at GameStop when I went to go pick up Fallout 4. They had it sitting there. I'm like, how much is that hat? $15. I'm like, that is $15 well spent. Yes.
Yeah, that's a slick looking hat. Dude. I might have to go get me that.
That's exactly it. My ginger ass just shut up and take my credits. It was an easy purchase.
Yeah, man.
I've been doing podcasting for a while. I had a podcast that lasted for about 4 or 5 years called 8-Bit Radio. I don't really do it anymore, but if you want to catch any of the older episodes, if you want to hear what we had, it's very similar to the show, actually. It is www.8bitradio, and 8 is spelled out, EIGHT.
Yep, just like 30 when you're visiting.
Just like when you're emailing, exactly.
Yeah, so go check out his stuff, guys. He and that whole team have a lot of fun, and we're very pleased to have Geoff on the show. He's somebody that we've wanted to have on for a while, but he refused until Star Wars came out.
I'm also, I go to school in Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
I say refused very lightly.
I will not be on Star Wars now. I need to talk about it on a podcast forum.
And we love you more for it.
Yes. Well, guys, Geoff and I went out and got a nice little beverage, so let's talk about what we're drinking today.
Oh, hello, Geek30. It's beer time.
Today's beer is brought to you by
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's brought to you by Star Wars, Jojo.
It's now brought to you by Star Wars.
Yes, whatever was brought to you by before, it's not anymore.
It is a Star Wars.
Not anymore.
Situation. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So Geoff and I ran out before the show started. This was actually recommended by Omar. Omar, thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you, sir. This
is by Aslin Beer Company. This is a company out here in the DC metro area. You know, we're recording from an area called Centerville, which is just outside the DC area. This is a brewery that's located in Herndon. Highly recommend you guys check these folks out. It's golly, they've been open for 3 months, is what they said.
Oh,
is that right?
Brand new.
3 months. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so shout out to those guys. They have a really cool little operation happening. And I want to share with you guys this cool beer that we have. It's called Deceiver with Mexican hot chocolate. So they have a Deceiver Imperial Stout, and then they have a couple variations on top of it. They have a coffee stout version of it, and then this one that they just actually released today, Mexican hot chocolate. And, let's cheers to this. Jojo, we're going to talk about, Jeff has another drink, but let's cheers to this real quick.
I picked up the Aslin root beer.
Yes.
Which they brew on site as well, so I'll be...
Yeah, and that's a dark looking root beer. That's
tasty.
Yeah.
Wow.
God, this is so good.
That is very good.
It literally tastes like hot chocolate, and you can taste little hints of the chili, the spices, and the cinnamon. Great during this time of year.
But it's full bodied like hot chocolate. It's not just like a beer, which is usually like crisp or light, whatever. It's like a full. It's like you're drinking cold chocolate because it's a cold beverage, obviously. But it's like drinking liquid chocolate.
I tried some at the brewery when you were doing the tasting for it, and I feel like it's almost like a dessert beer. Like it is because it has that bitterness to it from the very hoppiness of it being an imperial stout. You could pair it with like a dessert or even like a rich meal. This is definitely a meal beer. This isn't something you want to sit down and drink a bunch of. This is like, I'm going to have this with a meal and then I'll go move to something lighter later on.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I guarantee this is probably packed with some
It's good.
You should try to turn this into a car bomb then.
Actually, I think that would be really good. Take some Baileys and put it. Yeah, this would be perfect.
Great idea.
Well, I'm saying just it's so full that I don't know if you'll actually make it through the whole shot.
That's a good point though too.
Yeah, you just do half the pint just like in a regular car bomb.
That's true. Yeah.
So guys, check this place out, especially if you're local. We have a lot of local listeners. Aslinbeer.com. Aslin is spelled ASLIN beer.com. We're doing a lot to try to support some of these local breweries.
I just came up with an idea. You can make it into a Mexican cartel car bomb. You take the half a pint of that. You take like a dark tequila, like an
anejo,
yeah, and then you put Bailey. You still put Bailey's in there, and you split that in there. You drop it. I bet you that's fantastic.
I dig it.
So I'm going to this brewery after this, and I'm picking up a growler or 3. I got tequila at home.
You gotta tell me how it is. Tell me if it's worth it. If I made a good decision, because I'm not a bartender by any sense of the words. Hell, I don't even drink most of the time. But I feel like it just popped in there.
Brilliant. This has to happen. I might actually FaceTime you for this one.
Hey, by all means. Hey, hell, I'm here till like after a little bit after the New Year's.
Right.
I'll just come by.
There we go.
We're gonna turn it into a whole drinking party, guys. You're all welcome. We're all over at JoJo's.
We'll get completely slammed. We'll go watch 3D IMAX laser with the Smithsonian Uvar Hazy.
Oh yeah,
of Star Wars.
That IMAX is a laser IMAX.
And it's a laser, one of the first in the country, in the world.
Jeez.
Yeah,
which is awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, and Jeff's drinking their root beer, and they've got a good root beer. I'm going to try some of that later.
And I mean, not to sidetrack, but you're watching it in 70mm tonight again, aren't you?
Yeah,
so
in DC at the Smithsonian.
I can't.
We're gonna definitely get into some Star Wars later, guys.
Right.
Jeff is a connoisseur.
I'd like to think that I'm a Star Wars aficionado.
And you know what? Let's say to get us into that section of the show, let's start the news.
Geek30 News!
So did you guys hear about that game called Falling Out? Number 4? Falling of the Out, number 4?
Fall Out Boy?
Am I hurting your feelings right now, Jeff?
It hurts my heart. Put so much time in that goddamn game.
Okay, hold on. Put this into perspective for people. How much time have you put into that game so far?
More than I put into my finals, which sad. I've put in over 60 hours.
60 hours. All right.
I know people who have put way more than I have.
Right.
Because I had to put time in my finals.
Yep.
So
now, what is your? Okay, so. How did you? I guess.
To show you.
Oh,
yeah. So showing you my background.
Oh, I love it. I have a background. Jeff was showing me his background on his phone. It's the Rebel Alliance symbol. I have the Rebel Alliance symbol on mine. Do you see that, Jojo?
Yeah.
See, Rebel Alliance. What does Jojo have?
Something orange.
Tiles.
Oh, Jojo has. Hey, you guys know about orange in Jojo. That's a thing on his background.
Sorry, I'm completely
derailed.
Derail everything. Just be prepared. That's what I do.
No, we do plenty of that too.
That's awesome.
So there's this article on GameSpot that I found that I thought was really cool. I specifically wanted to bring this up because Jeff's here and I know of his love of Fallout 4. As you guys know, I love Fallout 4. Jojo doesn't know what Fallout 4 is.
No.
It breaks my heart.
I know there's a band that sings,
Yeah, they're called Fallout 4.
It's called let me rephrase it. It's Mad Max the video game.
Oh, there you go.
The good Mad Max the video game. Because there is a Mad Max video game, and it's complete shite. But this is good.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, and the game is
You should
really,
play
really good.
3 first because it's in this area. So
That's
you can
true.
actually go into
Yeah.
the metro, the subway as they call it, and you can see that the ceiling looks like the ceiling in the metro like when you're in DC.
It's pretty cool.
There you go.
The studio that makes it is in Rockville, Bethesda Studio.
Yeah.
Bethesda Softworks.
Didn't you go visit them at one point?
No, I visited BioWare in Austin.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I visited
and
Mythic.
Mythic also. Yeah.
We knew that. Yeah.
Paul Barnett.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He's actually now there. Since Mythic closed down, he's become the digital content manager for EA.
Yeah,
Which is really
I followed
cool.
some of the stuff he's been doing on on Facebook and stuff. It's cool. So, but in this article that I found on GameSpot, they've got somebody built the Fat Man out of Legos. Explain to people what the Fat Man is. Jeff.
It's basically like a slingshot out of like hydraulic actuators that shoot a mini nuclear weapon at your enemies. It's like a little tiny like football-sized nuclear warhead that you literally just slingshot at people and it makes this little nuclear explosion. The best part about these mini nukes, as they're called, is that some of the super mutants in the game run at you, suiciders, with them as they're holding it. And if they blow you up, you get the achievement called Touchdown. Because they look kind of like a football.
I was about to say they run at you almost like a football player would be, who's like running the ball down the field. And one of my favorite things is the Fallout mod where it's a John Cena mod. You know about that?
Yes.
Where like you fling it and then the missile's flying in the air and then it lands and it goes, John Cena! Yeah.
John Cena!
When you're throwing it and it lands and you maybe like throw 4 or 5 at a time, it's like John Cena!
That's so great.
Now, is that are the mods only on PC or are they also available on Xbox?
They are eventually going to be available on Xbox. Right now, they are not.
Okay.
They said after the new year, it should be probably within Q1 is when they're expecting mods to be available. So what they're going to do is they're going to take most of the most popular mods and then port them over to Xbox One because the porting process going from PC to Xbox One is not difficult because they're using an x86 chip.
Right.
Same with the PS4. They said the PS4 is going to be available, but it's going to be sometime later next year.
Okay.
So the mods will be available for PS4 as well, just not right out the box.
Okay.
But mods will be coming to Xbox One first, and you'll see, them. They'll have a screening process. No licensed content. That's anything that has a trademark. They're not going to port over.
Okay.
So no John Cena for me?
Yeah, no John Cena for that.
Damn it.
Yeah. That's the advantage of having a PC is that you're going to get stuff that you like the David Ortiz mod,
right?
Where because it's built, it's made. It's based in Boston. So they made a skin because you can get a baseball uniform. So the main city, Diamond City, spoiler alert. This is just a spoiler-driven show. You find a city called Diamond City. It's actually Fenway Park.
Okay,
it's so cool.
Yeah, it's really it's really awesome.
Cool.
But you can get a baseball uniform, so they modded that to actually be the real Boston uniform. So it says David Ortiz has his number.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's really well done.
Yeah,
great game. And guys listening, like if you guys want a really good RPG, this is a great RPG. And I'll post the video of this weapon that's built. It looks like what would be a life-size Fat Man. Something else that's worth mentioning. This is such a dick move. They filled the little mini nuke that it shoots out with clear Legos. So the idea is that you throw it in somebody's path as they're walking. And then you know how your kid just like leaves Legos everywhere and you don't realize that you haven't picked one up yet and you step on it and then you're screaming?
You've literally sliced your foot open with
Legos.
You spent 200 pounds of human on top of a Lego that doesn't go anywhere.
No.
I'd rather walk on hot coals.
Yeah, that stuff sucks. But we'll post this in the show notes. Check it out because it's pretty funny. And in other news, Hideo Kojima. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. I mean, this is somewhat, I don't know, old news depending on how closely you follow video game news. He's the guy he is the guy behind the whole Metal Gear series, one of the most critically acclaimed series ever. And I still need to pick up the Phantom Pain, right?
Yes.
So I need to pick that up still because I heard nothing but good things about it. But he left Konami, which he was working for.
That's
developing
not
this.
Surprising at all.
Yeah, the life grip that Konami had on him. So there's an article on Polygon. It says Metal Gear series creator Hideo Kojima has officially moved on from Konami and has started a new independent studio. Kojima's new studio has a familiar name, Kojima Productions, and that's of course Kojima. His other that was the name of like his subsector of Konami.
Yeah.
Right. So the new Kojima Productions first title will be a franchise and a PlayStation 4 console exclusive, according to a joint announcement with Sony Computer Entertainment. Kojima announced his new post-Konami endeavor in a video posted to the official PlayStation YouTube channel, and we'll post all this information for you guys in the show notes. It's an interesting move. I mean, it still shows Kojima still has such close ties. With Konami or with Sony and such, so that's really no surprise to me.
Right. It's good that he's moving on. I always loved the Metal Gear series, even though I've not been the biggest PlayStation fan for a long time. I think I mentioned that a couple episodes ago. The original Metal Gear Solid and I think 2 as well. I have music on playlists from that. A lot of the stuff that happened in there was phenomenal. I still remember it on the original Nintendo.
Yeah. I'm not a big Kojima fanboy. Actually, I'm not a fan of Metal Gear Solid at all. I don't really dig on the stealth games, but I can respect Kojima as an artist.
Right.
And understand how he's been very influential and impactful in the gaming industry. He's been very unhappy at Konami for several years now. They've made his life very almost miserable.
Right.
And him leaving is really not a surprise at all. I think he's going to be happier working on having the reins to be able to do whatever he wants instead of having to forcefully do what Konami wants him to do.
Right.
I think this is a good move for him. I'm upset when they make a console exclusive on any platform.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because it closes the doors on people who want to play games. Hopefully it's a timed exclusive, and they'll eventually open it up to at least PC.
And it's interesting. And I read somewhere that the age of exclusives has kind of come to an end. Like we're really not seeing as much of it now. I mean, you still got stuff like Halo. What is it? Uncharted.
Killzone. I don't even know if that's still a series.
Crackdown.
Yeah, Crackdown.
But you see it. It's a lot of the first party studios.
Exactly.
So a lot of the for those who are uninitiated, the console producers, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, have their own in-house developers. So you look at Sony; they have Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, and a few others. They've actually invested in them.
And Naughty Dog is, the folks that did The Last of Us. They did Uncharted. Really big names like that.
Jack and Daxter.
Yes, right.
And then you have Microsoft. Of course, you have 343. Used to be Bungie.
But now Bungie went to do Destiny, which is multi-platform.
Yeah, because they went to Activision.
Yeah.
But you see that a lot of these studios will stick to a console, like exclusive. Remedy is another one with Microsoft.
Isn't Rare with them exclusively, or I don't know if they're still exclusive or not.
They might be.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but they do it so that they know that they have a sustained sales and they have the ability to make a game on one platform, so they don't have to make it cross-platform, so they make it the best and the most powerful on that specific platform.
Right.
They don't have to worry about any other platform. So I can understand why a developer might want to do that just for cohesiveness sake.
Right.
But there's a lot of gamers, especially look at Tomb Raider.
Right.
Yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive, and it really pushed a lot of people away because the original Tomb Raider that came out, or I guess I shouldn't say original, but the new reboot,
Right.
Which is a fantastic game.
Absolutely fantastic,
Great game.
And so is Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I haven't played it yet.
Right.
It's gotten very good reviews, but they turned a lot of people away because it was an Xbox exclusive, and a majority of the gamer base right now are on PlayStation 4. It's just they won the marketing battle, and so you have a large majority, and these console companies think that these exclusive games are going to swing the tide, and I think it does absolutely the opposite. It pushes them away from the platform because it's like, well, I guess you guys can't do what you want to do because you have to get an exclusive game and then make it and hold on to it like you're clutching on it for dear life.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I understand that Nintendo's a different beast from the other two because it has the gamepad and whatnot, but Microsoft and PlayStation 4...
Well, there's also, I feel like there's a lot... I'm sorry to cut you out. But there's a lot of just titles like Mario and Zelda.
Right.
And Nintendo has such a plethora of titles under their belt just to begin with that just,
That brings that over, but I mean, they're a different structure altogether, and I know they're going to announce an NX hopefully soon, but Sony PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Xbox One are identical architectures aside from the numbers game. Sony has a stronger processor and faster RAM, but otherwise they're identical architecture. And I can't talk. Architecture. And so if you build something for Xbox, it can go over to PlayStation 4 with minimal effort at all. Yeah. So I don't know why the exclusivity thing is such a big deal. I mean, I understand, like, again, Halo makes sense on Microsoft, or Uncharted makes sense on PlayStation, but that's like the one game or here or there, whatever. A lot of the third parties should be making multi-platform games.
Yeah, it's just business. That's what.
Yeah, I think Hideo Kojima, with the start of this business, I mean, this is a new business for him, and maybe he sees this as a benefit to, ensuring his business is successful as it's first starting out, and he knows he's going to get the right type of support as he moves forward with solely Sony, right? Maybe that's something to be said. So, it's interesting. I'm very interested, though, to see what this new game is. I love everything he puts out.
Right.
So, but next up in the news, this new Star Trek trailer came out. I want to know what people thought about it. Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at Geek30. Spell out the word 30. Or email us geek30podcast@gmail.com. I want to hear what you guys thought about it because Simon Pegg, the guy who wrote the movie, didn't really love the trailer. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and if you guys see the trailer, it's very action-packed. Very action-packed. A little silly at times. But Simon Pegg's issue was that, as he says, there's a lot more to it than that, according to this article that's on IGN that I'll post in the show notes. So I wanted to bring that up to you guys and see what you guys thought about it.
Well, I didn't particularly like the trailer, but I understand that trailers aren't meant to show the entire movie. It's meant to entice a certain type of audience.
Yep.
But I feel like the trailer that it pushed out wasn't the type of audience that's going to go see Star Trek. So I think that's maybe what they were trying to do is pull people who wouldn't normally go see it to pull
a broader audience.
I think I saw the Galileo in the background, drift racing.
It was like full e-brake.
And I was like, what's like
yo dog?
Dirt bikes and
I don't understand. The dirt bike thing is really what pissed me off.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Like, I don't know. Okay, I will go see this movie no matter what. Like, they really don't, it's like what we said earlier, shut up and take my money.
Yeah. Same thing with Star Wars. They didn't have to show anything except the Star Wars logo and you would have gone seen it,
Totally. So, with this trailer, it felt a little silly to me. Guys out there who are listening, like, form your own opinion on this. Let us know your thoughts. If we're totally blowing this out of proportion, let us know. We're more than happy to receive that feedback. But to me, it felt like it wasn't very serious, in that it doesn't capture sort of the human elements that we tend to see in some of these movies that they make.
Well, they push envelopes on like science and politics and sort of like gray areas. What's ethically correct, what's ethically wrong. You get a lot of that in Star Trek, and you got some great acting like Benedict Cumberbatch, Zachary Quinto. A bunch of different people doing such amazing things. And you get this trailer that's kind of bro-ish, Pacific Rim, and kind of like, well, this is going to be a blockbuster. It's like this isn't. a blockbuster. This is going to be a film. This is going to be something that's going to be beautiful and well done and polished. Why would you show it this way?
Well, I felt that way since they rebooted Star Trek. Is that it really has turned away from the original, vision that Gene Roddenberry had back in the 60s.
Right. Of
this utopian society that's trying to deal with expanding into the universe or the galaxy. And, it just seemed... completely just turned into an action movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Even J.J. Abrams himself said when he first directed it, it was that he's a Star Wars fan, he's not a Star Trek fan. And so you see elements of what were Star Trek or Star Wars elements in Star Trek, with the first one and Into Darkness.
There's such a difference in the tone between these movies and what you actually get in the TV shows, especially watching The Next Generation. There's you get a lot of that exploration, the political side of it, like you were talking about, Jojo. With, they're exploring new worlds that nobody's seen. What is it that
to boldly go?
The boldly go where no person because they changed that.
No
one has gone before because women can go explore things too. Then
yes,
they can.
They can. Are you sure?
Yeah,
Deanna, can you go explore things? She didn't answer. So I don't know. She might not be able to.
Kind of quiet on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie, I'm still gonna see it no matter what. But I thought that was an interesting perspective. Even what's his name? The director. What's the guy's?
Justin Lin.
Justin Lin. You know him from The Fast and the Furiouses.
1 through 17.
No, they made the 18th movie.
They made the 18th. Okay.
Yeah, it just came out.
Was that with The Rock? He was in another picture, trying to button his.
Did they have another again. Paul Walker tribute in it?
Yeah, Paul Walker came back again in CGI. Too soon. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. Nothing but mad respect.
Yeah.
Apparently his brother looks like him, and they CG'd his face on his brother.
that whole technology is crazy. I was reading some stuff on that. It's that's freaking...
It was actually the Michael Jackson hologram.
Michael Jackson hologram starred in the movie.
The Tupac hologram, too. And make a cameo.
He played Vin Diesel's character. Vin Diesel couldn't make it to this newest movie.
He was too busy grabbing his pants,
For some reason, Vin Diesel, all he said throughout the entire movie was, "I am Groot." I don't understand.
Wrong movie, Jeff. Wrong movie.
Oh, my bad.
Speaking of which, did you guys see who's going to be he's going to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Is he? Is it confirmed?
Yeah, it was Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. They're talking about him being
the father.
Yeah, Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah.
Oh snap! That's cool. I can't wait for that new movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Yeah. Personally,
it was a fantastic movie. It was really well done.
Well, it was more of a sci-fi movie than it was a comic book movie.
Right.
I think that's why people were so refreshed by it. Is that I came expecting one thing. The trailer made it look like it was going to be awful.
Yeah,
and I was like, that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
That's a movie I could pretty much watch any day and really enjoy it all the time.
It's not like you grew up on DC Comics and Batman and whatnot, and one day you get Adam West on your TV.
If I saw that as a kid, I probably would have been a fan of that instead of Star Wars.
Right.
To be honest,
really,
that was
had that much of an impact.
It
on you.
felt like Star Wars to me. It had that.
I could see that
aspect to it.
Right.
Yeah. Star-Lord was such a cocksure. He was Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in one.
Yeah, there was definitely.
Don't get so cocky.
There was definitely a scale of epicness in there as well. It was something always bigger than what was going on.
And Batista's from Sterling.
There we go. I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Well, it went over his head. It couldn't go over his head because his reflexes are too fast. He'd catch it.
True. And speaking of Star Wars, I'm giving everybody here listening to this podcast 10 seconds to turn this off until you start hearing a lot of spoilers about Episode 7.
Spoiler alert.
Snape kills Dumbledore. Sorry. Too soon.
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
What? All right,
Frankenstein is the monster.
Count it down, Jojo.
10, 9, 8, 7. 7? 7.
Yeah, 7 below 7 is 6.
7, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Han Solo died.
Shit!
You just out of the gate. Bam!
Going to blazing.
You couldn't even tell him that Kylo Ren is his son. You just came up with Han Solo died. It had to happen. happened? They've been trying to kill him since Empire Strikes Back.
They were
going to kill him in Empire Strikes Back.
Harrison Ford wanted it for a long time. I didn't know the rest of them wanted to.
Well, him and Lucas had talked about killing him, and Kasdan convinced them to keep him.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make him more of a motivation into Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
To bridge the story.
Okay.
So sorry, I had to get that off my chest, guys. I was very
I'm sorry, what
sad.
happened to Han Solo?
I was very sad, but I felt like it was a wonderful way to send him off. I couldn't have. Honest to God, I can't think of a better way to do that to that
When
character.
Chewbacca screams that yell of rage, you're just like, man, Chewbacca.
It was a throwback to like Empire when he got frozen in carbonite, like something, you know.
Well, you got to think of the motivation behind Chewbacca. He's serving a life debt to Han Solo.
Yeah.
Because Han Solo saved his life. To a Wookiee, that's like the greatest of honors to give someone a life debt. And the fact that Kylo Ren kills him basically like dishonors his life debt.
Right.
Like, he wasn't able to fulfill it because of the man's son.
Right.
So just this rage, this, and then, I mean, come on, they're best friends.
Yeah.
They're more than best friends.
When you think of best friends, when you think of people as best friends, you think of peas and carrots. You think of Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
Han and Chewie. You probably have thought of your best friend as like you and Ryan are probably Han and Chewie, right?
Ryan and Chewie.
Han and Leia had kids together, and you still think Han and Chewie. You don't think Han and Leia.
Exactly.
He still ended up with Chewie.
Yeah.
Even with like, but you know,
It's a hetero life partner.
the cool
You could use a good kiss.
the cool repetition that happened there with the scream that you see Rey and Finn, who were fantastic. John Boyega, Daisy
those
Ridley
characters
were
are
awesome.
amazing. So I saw only the teaser, and I thought John Boyega's character was kind of silly because again he was in a stormtrooper. I didn't see much of him, obviously, but I thought it was kind of silly just the way everything kind of went out. And when I saw him in the movie, I was just floored.
Yeah,
I was such a great performance.
And when they saw what happened to Han, that scream, it's the same scream that Luke had when he saw Obi-Wan die. It's the same scream that Obi-Wan had when he saw Qui-Gon die.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that
it was so real.
Yes, and it's that passing of the torch.
Right.
Of like sensei to student. You know what I mean? It's cool.
You knew it was going to happen though. There had to be someone. That's part of the hero's journey.
Yes.
That's I think the issue I had was it was almost a who did the Avengers? Who directed the Avengers?
Joss Whedon.
It was a Joss Whedon move. They showed too much Han Solo in that movie. That's what happened. The more you saw Han Solo, it's like something's got to happen. You know. Yeah. So I kind of knew they showed too much of him.
Well, okay. You know, now that we've kind of talked about that, and you know, you guys listening obviously don't care to be spoiled, and I wanted to see. Jojo and I went to go see the movie together.
Yes.
Holding
hands. I'm sorry, Deanna. Yeah. I'm not sorry, Deanna.
Jojo was holding one hand, Deanna held the other.
I kept trying to swat her hand. No.
We bought the 3D glasses.
Yes.
We bought all four of them.
We both bought all four of them.
I had the Kylo Ren glasses on, Deanna had the BB-8 glasses on, and my parents came with us. I gave them each
Stormtrooper.
My mom wanted Captain Phasma. My dad got the Stormtrooper one because that's all that was left.
Captain Plasma.
Yeah, my dad kept calling her Captain Plasma, and I was like, "Dad, you're killing me. You're killing me. You don't even care." Jojo, what did you think about the movie?
So again, going into this with the expanded universe knowledge, it was nice that they changed a lot of things. The expanded universe doesn't, I guess, exist anymore. They loosely followed some of the dots in there, but they didn't follow it verbatim.
And this is why I wanted Jojo to talk about this, because kind of the callback to the expanded universe is really interesting in how they approached the writing of this movie and some of the symmetry there. It's
right. So there were things that were similar. There were things that were different. It definitely felt like a Star Wars movie to me. I was happy. It had that feel. It wasn't a digital recording. It was a film recording.
Yep.
You know, it had the look. It had the feel. It had the action. I think the only thing that kind of saddened me was it didn't have the epic scale. Like there was always something bigger going on. Kind of like, you know, we just talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, or in A New Hope with the Death Star. You find out it can do this. They had the big old aerial battle in Episode 3. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things always going on, and this one it felt almost kind of compartmentalized. Like it kind of felt encapsulated. in that aspect. Aside from that, everything else, I mean, there's so much. Like BB-8 is adorable.
You have one of these characters in every single trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much R2-D2 in the first.
6.
And in the first, but then what they tried to do with Jar Jar Binks in episode 1, and then you got BB-8.
Exactly. But I mean, BB-8 was fantastic. The groups like Rey, Poe Dameron's character, I feel like he could have had a little more screen time, but I'm glad they did it the way they did.
Sorry, my phone went off. Hold on.
Keep going.
You're gonna be that guy in the podcast.
It's because of me, isn't it? I'm ruining it.
But I love the feel. I love the pacing. I love the movie. It never got boring. I love the fact that they were able to kind of give a classic kind of sense of humor to it. A lot of things. So with the prequel trilogies, one of the biggest issues I had was they would stop the tone to make a joke. They would just kill the flow just to make a joke. And this one, the humor was fluid with everything that went through there. Like, so it didn't stop everything.
That just shows you the difference of writing between Kasdan and Lucas.
Right, exactly.
Look at Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Both written by Larry Kasdan.
Right.
With help from Lucas.
Yeah.
The first, A New Hope, look at the dialogue. The dialogue isn't that good in A New Hope.
Not at all.
It's very,
So Lady Gaga song,
simple.
It's
very simple.
Yeah.
But A New Hope is great because it follows exactly the formula of the hero's journey.
Yes.
And it didn't really matter. The actors did such a good job. Alec Guinness just knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
And Harrison Ford, which was able to support the rest of the cast who might not have been experienced.
And it's so interesting because if you really think back to A New Hope, the beginning of that movie is really slow.
Oh, yeah.
Really slow, but the fact that it follows that simple formula of the hero's journey makes it a really interesting and engaging story. Still, no matter what.
I think that's why I had a tough time with The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Not that I disliked the movie; I thought it was great, but I feel like it was too fast. It was too quick.
Right.
It jumped from action to action to action. There was no time to breathe. The few times that there was no real explanation. Like when
that's a typical JJ move, by the way.
Yeah.
That is a
there's
typical
no
JJ move.
exposition. There's no build up of the whole world.
Yeah.
like when
There's a lot of assumption.
when they found Luke's lightsaber, and she was like, "Here you go," and they're like, "How did you get that?" "Oh, that's a story for another time." It's like, no, that's a story for now. I want to know how they got that lightsaber from fucking Bespin. Like, how did it fell down the fucking pit? Like, did some janitor just pick up those? Like,
you know what I was expecting? You know what I was expecting is like Lando to come around and be like, "Hello."
Well, what have we here?
Well, what have we here?
Oh, you're my son, Finn. We gotta pull it around full circle.
Yeah, that's
You're my effing son.
I really hope that they don't turn around and say that, because like there's more than one black person in the galaxy.
Right.
There's gotta be. There's gotta be.
Like, I heard so many people talking about how he was Lando's son. I was like, guys, be more open-minded than that.
Exactly.
Come on.
Well, the other thing, I mean, with the original trilogy is that there was like one black guy. So
true.
I'm kind of glad
okay.
No, okay. Being dressed in black is not being black.
Well, there was the.
What's a Nubian? Shut the fuck up. That was my Chasing Amy reference for those who have not seen it. If you haven't, just watch the first 5 minutes of the film. It's gold.
Well, the whole Kevin Smith, was it 5-6 movies? The Mallrats, Chasing Amy.
Skewiverse.
Yeah.
Skewiverse, yeah.
Yeah, those were fantastic movies. And then he went off and did other things. No, I like the fact that he brought him as a main player, and he was fantastic.
Yeah. I was so impressed with John Boyega's performance, Daisy Ridley's performance, Adam Driver. I mean, Kylo Ren, honest to God, right now is my favorite character in the entire Star Wars universe.
We had talked about
such a complex
Jeff,
character.
I think, made the best statement about that.
He did Vader better than Vader. Like that's what I wanted from Hayden Christensen for Vader. This whiny, like, just nothing goes his way.
He's a victim of everything. And,
he doesn't want to take responsibility for everything. Everybody's somebody else's fault.
You see true fear in Kylo Ren. What is it? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. And you see all of those transitions of emotion in Kylo Ren in Adam Driver's performance.
He's powerful, but he's still learning. He can't control everything yet.
The rivalry between him and General Hux is really awesome too, because that's pushing like Kylo Ren to even do more evil shit. Yeah. Which is the whole point. That's why Snoke is doing it.
When he threw a temper tantrum on that console, I was like, oh my god, this guy's insane.
With the comedy that they did, they never stopped anything. They showed two stormtroopers no, we're going this way again.
Yeah. Well, no, I was talking about when that one guy walked up to him and said, the droid escaped with a girl. And then he turns around and just goes buck wild.
He's literally like, I'm gonna get cut down. Holy shit! This is it. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's kind of a throwback to Admiral Piet at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
But like the dude in the console when he force chokes out fucking Admiral Aslin. He's sitting there and there's a guy at the computer and he's looking at the computer. Fucking Vader chokes him, falls down. The guy looks up, looks behind him, looks down, looks back at the screen, and then goes back to his computer. Like this. He's like, I don't even want to know what's going on, man. That's exactly what it felt like when those two stormtroopers are like, nope, go the other way.
We've got other things to do.
Oh, and let's also talk about the cameos. Tremendous amount of cameos.
Yeah.
I heard when the movie was being made that Daniel Craig was in the movie.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about where he is in that movie?
Yes.
Did you hear about it, Jojo?
No. So, again, I avoided all
Remember how Rey was shackled and was talking to a stormtrooper, doing the Force on the stormtrooper?
Yeah.
That was Daniel Craig.
Are you serious?
That was freaking Daniel Craig.
I can't wait to watch it tonight to hear it and know that that's Daniel Craig.
I swear, because I heard about how he was in the movie in some kind of form. They didn't talk about how he was, but I was keeping an eye out for it, mentally. I've been waiting for this. And then when that stormtrooper started talking, and I thought, oh my god, that sounds like him.
Yeah.
And then Deanna sent me the article. I was like, I knew it.
Yes. Yeah. I had no clue.
I didn't know, because again, I avoided all Star Wars like the plague for the last. And now you can tell me whatever you want about Star Wars. I've seen it, but
now you can watch the trailers and see if you would have been
exactly.
spoiled for anything.
I need to go through that. And,
So, did you guys know Bill Hader was one of the contributors to the voice of BB-8?
I did not.
Yeah.
I know he's been doing a lot of voices as of recently. I didn't realize it was that big that he got into Star Wars.
I imagine him walking into a voice studio, and they're like, just make noises.
He's just like lightsaber.
And then he's like, wah, 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 and then they ended up, turning it like changing
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really
and then
cool.
Simon Pegg was in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yep,
I didn't know that.
He played one of the aliens.
Oh,
he was in some kind of alien costume. I still don't know which alien it is. If you guys know, excuse me.
Wow,
and you're
that was
listening,
yummy. I felt better after that.
Sorry, I'm talking too much and I'm drinking beer all at the same time.
It's chocolate.
Yeah, if you guys know and you're listening, send us an email. I want to know which one Simon Pegg is. Geek30podcast@gmail.com. But
they put a compressor on the Millennium Falcon. Who does that?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I bypassed the compressor.
Well, they bypassed it, but
because Ray tugged it out of that.
Ray was my favorite character in the movie.
Okay, this was going to be my next question. So, who is your favorite character?
Even though I feel like they kind of Mary Sued her a bit, which, if you're not familiar, Mary Sue is like a concept for like characters from like the 1970s. When there was a large feminist movement and almost every feminist character was like, could basically do everything that anyone could ever do in their life. They were inexperienced.
Feminism. Which is okay. Feminism is good.
There's also a similar concept for guys called the Gary Sue, which is basically the same thing. It's that the inexperienced young person comes and it blows everything out of the water.
Yeah.
So you think about it, she kind of was married to, but that still didn't turn me off from the fact that she still was like the most developed character in the film. She was the most, I feel her and Finn were the most identifiable. And
they had awesome chemistry, didn't they?
God. They worked so well together.
Oh.
When she picked up the lightsaber, I geeked fuck out. I nerded out. I'm like, yes, finally, that strong female character we all have been waiting for. She is the shit. She's exactly what we need now for a strong female character. It's coming way too late, but JJ knocked it out of the park with her. Her casting is perfect. She's gorgeous. She's very talented.
Right.
She's young, and she'll be able to do this forever.
But the fact that she's a human first and a feminist, it's not that. It's not.
Well, it's not that
kind of deal.
It's not about
she's a character,
It's not about her being a feminist. It's the fact that it's a realistic portrayal of a strong woman.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
even with the Mary Sue elements, she still was more realistic than
when you were talking about how you were geeking out. When that happened, I was kind of giddy too, but I heard my mom 2 seats down going,
I love your mom. Your mom's the best.
She was awesome.
Your mom is so cool.
The movie experience was better because of her and your dad.
I hope you guys heard that. She was clapping. I was just... I loved how they portrayed
I'm friends with your mom on Facebook. That's how awesome your mom is.
My mom's pretty great. I love her. Jojo, who is your favorite character in that whole thing?
I love BB-8.
Really? That's your favorite?
But I wouldn't say he's my favorite. He's very close second.
I don't know. He's no R2-D2.
He's no R2-D2, but he emotes better, which is why I like him.
If we were to get a new generation of R2-D2, I'm very happy with that.
Right.
All right, fair enough.
Very happy with
yeah, fair enough. I prefer Jar Jar.
Wow, we're done here. Okay, on the next episode,
we try to find where we buried Jeff's body.
You know, in the both the end of the first movie, the prequel, episode 1, and the end of episode 6, they burn the person on a bed.
Yeah,
that's going to happen to Jeff here momentarily.
Jedi funeral pyre.
Exactly.
I'll come back as a Force ghost and haunt your ass.
I love Finn's humanity. I love that he's trained his whole life to be this ruthless stormtrooper, right? And he awakens and he has like a sense of humor. He doesn't know what's going on, but he kind of wants to help, but he kind of wants to run away, and he's kind of like all over the place. I mean, again, all the characters have a lot of depth, which is amazing,
and they have real flaws. Like Finn is a coward.
Right,
He's like,
exactly.
He didn't do anything when they were shooting civilians. He just sat there. He runs away from everything. He does have flashes of courage, like helping Poe Dameron get out of jail.
Right,
but still, he was like a kind of cowardly about it.
Exactly. So there was a lot of great characters. I love Finn and Poe's exchanges the most. I love him and Rey fantastically, but him and Poe, I think it's gonna be
they're kind of bros.
Yeah, right? it's gonna be amazing. But I want to say Finn is my favorite character right now.
Like I said, Kylo Ren's my favorite. I think that they did a really good job in the way that they showed him experiencing all aspects of the dark side coming from the light side. Obviously, he was trained under
when
Luke
he didn't have a mask. When he had a mask on, you can still see him emotional. Like his body language is amazing.
And that dude's gonna have a crazy scar in the next movie.
Yeah,
all across.
I mean, Anakin had one.
Yeah,
so.
And he's Anakin's grandson.
Yeah,
a lot of symmetry there.
How awesome did Luke Skywalker look?
Yes.
He's only in the film for 15 seconds, but when he turns around, pulls his cloak off, and he's got that long hair and those badass looking Jedi robes. I just wanted to be like, yeah! Why does he have to stop here? Why do I have to wait 18 months for another Star Wars?
He didn't have to say a damn thing.
That's not a fucking word.
That was brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I was geeking out over that, but at the same time, they empired that ending.
Yeah.
They opened that ending. The first episodes have always been kind of like a wrap up. They both had like a celebration at the end or something.
His metal hand.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Cool.
And so maybe you know this because I've forgotten.
Pour more beer.
All right. At one point, Luke had a realistic hand at the end of Empire, didn't he?
Yeah.
When did it go robotic again?
Remember, he gets start of Jedi.
Remember, it started Jedi. It gets cut by or gets blasted.
That's right.
And he has to put the black glove over it because you can see the metallic under.
Okay, I forgot.
Judge and I were talking about. That's what I thought, but we wanted to confirm with you.
Yeah,
because Jeff is a connoisseur.
Well, have you ever seen the Family Guy Star Wars episodes? When he gets the test it on a carrot first, otherwise you'll rip your dick off. Every time I see that metal hand now, it's the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm a horrible person, but damn, that's really funny.
But I mean, you talked about when they found the lightsaber, and it's like, how did Rey get to this lightsaber? But you see the Family Guy, and he's got like his hand in the pocket. It's like, have you seen a hand? No. I was in tears.
They did a good job in Family Guy.
I'm not always the biggest fan of Family Guy, but that was fantastic. Yeah. That was a great execution.
They did a lot of fan service in this film with a lot of callbacks, a lot of drawbacks to the original trilogy. I think one of my favorite things, two of my favorite things, but my very favorite thing was when they were trying to repair the ship and Daisy Ridley's character was down, like trying to fix everything and pops up and goes, it has a bad motivator. and for you guys listening, if you watch episode 4, and R2-D2 and C-3PO are caught by that, that big barge that,
the sandcrawler
carrying the sandcrawler.
Yeah.
So Uncle Owen chooses the C-3PO and the R7 unit. Right. R5 or R7? R7?
It's R5, I believe.
Might be an R5.
Okay, it's the red astromech.
Yeah.
And then he ends up coming along, and then all of a sudden he blows up, and Luke goes.
The droid purposely does that.
Yes, I know. That's canon now.
Just thought I'd let you guys know.
Yeah, but I mean, canon also he goes to help the rebellion in some other aspect too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this red droid blows up, and Luke looks at it and goes, "It has a bad motivator," and he's so whiny about it. It's got a bad motivator.
Luke, that's the whole point of Luke, is Luke goes from being this whiny little farm boy, and then you start becoming endeared to him as he starts learning from Obi-Wan, and then he still kind of gets whiny in Empire, and then he learns from Yoda, and eventually turns around and actually becomes this stoic hero,
right?
Just like Obi-Wan, you know?
Yeah.
Which is cool, but he has elements of things that the original Jedi didn't, because he understands the power of love and compassion in a way that doesn't bring about attachment.
But I want to go to Tashi Station.
Because the Republic became very much... So you had the Sith that went very passionate, and the Republic that went very... No emotions at all.
Yeah.
We don't have emotions in anything. So
Right.
there was two extremes on this.
Well, in the Legends...
Yeah.
Starting to cut
not the expanded universe anymore.
The Legends, a.k.a.
Yeah.
EU... Luke modifies the Jedi code. So the Jedi code, for those who are unaware, there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. So Luke expands on that and changes it, because emotion yet peace, ignorance yet knowledge, passion yet serenity, chaos yet harmony, death yet the Force.
Yep.
So
The Grey Jedi.
the Grey Jedi are stupid, and
the Dark Jedi, and
in Star Wars, things are black and white. It's black and white. There's the light side and the dark side. There's no real gray area. Like, if you're a gray area, you're not Force using character.
Yeah.
All right. You're like Han Solo, or you're like Boba Fett. Or you walk that line. The moment you're Force sensitive, you have to pick.
You just said Boba Fett, and that brings me to episode 7 again, because...
Oh, my bad.
No, it's perfect. I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what happened to Captain Phasma's character. I felt like she was built up really well, and got the Boba Fett treatment, where she has probably a great lore as to why she's there, but nothing explained.
Now she's thrown in a trash compactor. I'm pretty sure she's coming back.
Right, exactly, but nothing is explained about her.
She was very good.
No, she was fantastic.
What were the other... I mean, for you guys, Jojo, you first, what were some of your favorite callbacks from the original trilogy, some of the fan service that they did?
It was not necessarily characters, but things being in character.
Okay.
So when Han hasn't seen Leia, and however long they haven't seen her, C-3PO goes right between them. Hi, you don't remember me? I'm C-3PO. You probably didn't recognize me because of my red arm. Like, he's so, blind to what's going on. Like, the bigger picture here is like, I'm between the two of you. I'm sorry,
Anthony Daniels nailed it. Nailed it. Oh, my God.
I mean, so to me, it wasn't necessarily always that they put a character in to bring it back. It was the context in which they brought it back.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff?
That was a good point. Anytime that they say I have a bad feeling about this, that's just it's not a Star Wars movie if they don't say it.
Yeah,
like that's in every film.
Yeah,
it ties it together. It's the iconic.
I'm glad that they still put the Force in there with Leia when Leia.
What was that? There's a lot of
when she felt when Han died.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want to say. So there was still like a presence there, and so it's a great throwback to that.
Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Well,
that was one of the cool things in one of the DLCs for The Force Unleashed, was that you could play if Luke had died, Vader had killed him.
Yeah.
Starkiller ends up killing him.
Starkiller, yeah.
And so
by the way,
Leia,
love the Starkiller reference in
Starkiller
base. Love that reference.
Well, the references originally was Luke's it was his name in the original story, and then they changed it to Skywalker.
Starkiller's a little aggressive. For
but I mean, in the expanded or the Legends, he actually bested both Vader and Palpatine before killing himself, right?
I don't know the original story
because I think his end was he was
also supposed to be like 30 or 40, and like Han Solo was supposed to be a weird alien, and Chewbacca was supposed to look like the guy from Rebels, the Zeb. I still haven't seen the Lasat race is actually based off the character concepts of Ralph McQuarrie,
Ralph
Wookiee.
Of a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That Rebels, if you can check it out,
cool show.
Is it good?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people listening, like if you guys want to watch some really cool content, the Clone Wars is a great series, but Rebels, this new series that Disney put out since they bought
Because
the
they
rights,
brought back Ashoka, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Spoiler.
So.
Yes. Well, I mean,
one
honestly,
character.
if you don't know that,
If you don't know that character yet, then it's not a big.
Yeah.
And also the character, the Mandalorian girl in there, Sabine, is supposed to be in Rogue One.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So that should be.
So favorite part of the movie, your favorite moment in that movie, and we'll wrap it up. But your favorite point in that movie, Jojo.
I'm not going to admit that I was in tears, but when the opening crawl started, I might have been in tears.
Okay, honestly, it's funny that you say that because Ryan, people listening, if you guys have heard the show, you heard Ryan in the Not Your Father's Your Beer episode. Ryan texted me that day. He goes, "At what point are you going to start crying?" And I said, "I'm already crying." But I actually did not tear up at all through that movie.
I didn't tear. I think I got a little misty-eyed when Han died.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part, I think I mentioned it before, was when Rey picked up the lightsaber and started fighting Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Just the fact that was the moment that music hit.
Yeah.
And it just, every part of me was like, yes, 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 you're fucking awesome. Like I'm such a Rey fanboy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so good. I think my favorite part.
It's hard, right?
It's really, really hard. I would say the part where it sounds terrible, but when Han died, I mean there was so much that developed in the story at that point that it really it brought a lot home for me.
Yeah.
Because you see that torch being passed off, you see the sheer emotion that it brought out in Chewbacca. First of all, that was super that was hard to deal with. Excuse me. And Rey and Finn, their reaction to the whole thing. And also, it sets into motion the idea of, what's going to happen in the next two movies when Kylo Ren, or Ben, realizes that...
Jason.
Yeah, well, that Ben realizes that, he made this huge mistake.
Right.
It's going to hit him, and then he's going to see his mother. I think Leia will be the one that will turn him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think she's because she's so powerful in the Force, yet she doesn't really call on it.
Yeah.
I think that it overtly works through her, subtly.
Right.
Or I shouldn't say subtly, overtly subtle.
Yeah.
It works subtly through her so that people don't even know that she doesn't even know she's using it.
Right.
And I think that's why she's been such a great politician when in the original trilogy.
Right.
You can tell that there's going to be a moment where she finally sees him, and something's going to happen to her, and he's gonna immediately protect her. Snoke is gonna do something to provoke.
Right.
And then Kylo's gonna be like, "No, that's my mom."
But I feel like
I
feel like it has to go in that direction because with what little exposition they gave us, but the exposition they gave us was that he was training with Luke when he went to the bad side, so he might not associate Luke in the best of lights right now.
Yeah. But his mother, just even Freudian, you have that urge to protect your mother.
Exactly.
And that I think that's going to be a key element going into the later films. I feel like she's going to be pivotal in either Kylo Ren's fall completely or his redemption, which I hope is that what they're
I want to see a Kylo Ren redemption by the episode 9, but with episode 8 coming out in 2 years,
as opposed to 3, I mean, no complaints here.
Do we expect to see Luke Skywalker survive this next movie?
I think he'll survive this one. I think he'll die in episode 9.
You think?
Yeah.
I know he's going to die by the end of it. I'm still torn on whether or not he's going to die this next episode or not.
I don't think they're going to kill him off in kill two major characters in subsequent films.
Because I also think that Leia's going to die at some point.
I don't think so. I think she's she's going to be the old lady at the end. I feel like she's going to be the one that tells the tale of the Skywalker line.
Who runs the restaurant for thousands of years and has a lightsaber stored in it.
Kylo will either save or redeem or save his mother, or Luke will protect Leia. Though that she really doesn't need protecting because she's a badass. Yeah. Even now.
But see, so with the original trilogy, Obi-Wan let himself be killed as a motivation for Luke to go forward.
I don't think Finn's gonna make it out.
Oh yeah.
I think Finn will end up getting iced by the end.
Oh, wow.
I think Finn will end up dying for Rey or Poe.
Okay.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting thought. I don't know, guys, and as you've been listening to this conversation, let us know your all's thoughts, because this was a great movie. I told these guys, Jeff, still you saying episode 5 is still your favorite?
No, episode 4 is my favorite.
Episode favorite. Okay.
Episode favorite is his 4. Yes. Episode favorite is his 4.
My dyslexia got the best of me. So episode 4 is your. What about yours?
I'm torn between 4 and 5. 5 usually is what I would default to, but I love 4 because 4 to me, without everything else, is one full solid story.
Yeah.
You can pull it out of it. It's only one of the whole movie trilogy that it sits by itself and it doesn't need any of the other movies.
Yeah. Exactly. I do want to point out real quick. This is random fact, but this is the second time they haven't shown Tatooine in a movie. The only time was Empire. Tatooine has been in every movie except for Empire and now Force Awakens.
Everybody thought Jakku was going to be Tatooine,
but it was Jakku. Yeah,
it's Jakku. Maybe I'm in the honeymoon phase, but this was my favorite Star Wars movie yet. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it had everything that I wanted in a Star Wars movie.
If I give it like 3 or 4 more, or 100, because I've seen the other ones 100 times.
But you know what? I think I'm different in the way that I like all the unanswered questions, and that I'm very excited to see what the next 2 episodes bring, but we'll have to wait a couple of years.
See, unanswered questions is what pissed me off about Halo 2.
I have a feeling that episode 8 is going to be the best of the
you think
trilogy.
There's going to be a lot of cool stuff.
I might be the weird one, but I always like the middle ones for whatever reason. I like Empire best.
Empire's my favorite.
I like Attack of the Clones more than I like Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, really?
You know what? We were talking about some expanded universe that doesn't exist anymore. So Legends.
I don't know what you're
talking. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite.
I like the Clone Wars. Is that the cartoon you're talking about?
The cartoon was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's better than any of the prequel movies. I'll tell you that. But guys, I would love to hear your all's thoughts. Email us geek30podcast@gmail.com. I think that's a great place for us to end it. We loved the movie. We hope you guys did too. But let us know your thoughts. Jojo, where can people reach us?
So we just dropped the email. We also have a Twitter handle, Geek30, which is spelled out. You can find us on Facebook, Geek30 Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube, Geek30 Podcast. Now, we're working on that one to get our name out there. You just have to put in on a search bar for YouTube, Geek30 Podcast, and it'll... Peak 30 Happy Hour on YouTube, and it'll pull us up.
And just a reminder, guys, we're launching this cool new project. We're calling it The Lost Levels. It's going to be us playing some video games, and Jojo and I have already recorded some cool content of us basically just really sucking at Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. No, that's not the name of a drink. That's like the name of a video game.
It could be a drink. I mean, we already got the Mexican cartel that we can work on. So,
but Jeff, where can people see your whole stuff? All your stuff.
Well, I'm on Twitter. It's at the Jedi Revan, Revan.
I don't know if you guys knew, but he likes Star Wars.
I'm a
little bit.
Yeah, if there had been a Revan reference, this might have been my favorite Star Wars movie. I probably would have taken my pants off at that point too.
You didn't? I did.
The kid next to me was really creeped out by it.
Okay.
I got my old podcast, 8-Bit Radio. That's www.8bitradio. 8 is spelled out. I'm also on another podcast from time to time called Not Dead Yet. That's notdeadyetradio.com. My buddy Ryan, who I used to do my old podcast with, is on that show as well. I'm on there probably once every couple months, so that's not geeky. It's more of like a shock jock type stuff. Okay. But it's fun. It's entertaining. It's very, very blue, if you know it, dirty, bad language, cuss words. So be prepared. It's probably
explicit.
It's explicit and misogynistic, so I would keep the ladies away from it.
Perfect.
They probably aren't going to like it.
I'm going to listen to it on the way to get more beer.
Yeah, there you go. So if you guys enjoyed Jeff, we love Jeff to death.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, yeah,
guys, thank you for your wisdom.
I've been dying to podcast in a nerdy setting for so long that I'm probably going to start podcasting again at school. If I do, I'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, man, we'll be on
drive. Yeah,
heck
yeah. Stop by Staten anyways, right?
Yeah, there you go. And so special thanks to Jamie Sweetland for all the awesome production and all the great sounds and stuff that you guys hear.
And the stuff you don't hear, because sometimes we make mistakes.
Yeah. And thank you to Aslin beer. Well, it's just Aslin beer. It's not brewery. It's Aslin beer.
Aslin Beer Company.
Yep, Aslin Beer Company. For the awesome beer. We had a great time drinking this stuff today. And thank you to you guys for listening. We would appreciate it if you guys would give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. We're going to be on Google Play soon as that service goes live.
We don't have a specific date yet, but we are working on it.
Yep. And until then, we will see you next time.
May the Force be with you.
Always. Have a great night.
See ya!